Today we're going to be looking at the topic of adolescents with complex learning needs. To begin, let's first understand what complex learning needs are. People with complex learning needs have conditions that coexist. They present a range of issues and combination of layered needs, for example, mental health, relationships, behavioural, communication and cognitive. Every student is an individual, and adolescents with complex learning needs are all different from each other. Even if a child has a label attached to his or her special need, this does not mean that his or her needs will be the same as others with the same condition. Some examples include autism, Down syndrome, ADHD and dyslexia. For the sake of this podcast, let's look a little closer at autism spectrum disorder, or ASD. Autism spectrum disorder is a brain development disorder categorized by three main criteria. Firstly, it commonly impairs social interaction and attention to social stimuli. For example, some people with ASD may be less likely to smile and look at others. They may respond less to their own name or are less likely to maintain eye contact with others. It also commonly impairs communication skills. Up to 50% of people with ASD do not develop enough speech to meet their daily communication needs. Their speech may be slow and monotone. Word combinations may be inappropriate and they may lack emotion in their speech. They are also less likely to make requests or share experiences. It may also cause restricted or repetitive behaviour. For example, the person may be prone to repetitive movements such as rocking back and forth or movements with no purpose. They may require strict routines for their day-to-day activities, disruptions to which can be very upsetting. They may have a limited interest. For example, when playing a board game, they may get overly fixated with their board game piece, therefore losing interest in the game itself.
All right, first academic alert. Wiggum, Ralph.
I won!
No, Ralph. This means you're failing English.
Me fail English? That's impossible.
Evidence-based practices. Many interventions exist for ASD. However, scientific research has found only some of these to be effective. These interventions are also known as evidence-based practices. Let's have a look at some examples. Antecedent-based interventions, or ABI, are a collection of practices in which environmental modifications are used to change the conditions that might prompt a student with ASD to engage in interfering behaviours. An example of a teacher using ABI would include changing routines or schedules to decrease interfering behaviour, like changing seat arrangements in the classroom. Now let's look at differential reinforcement. This is designed to reduce the occurrence of interfering behaviours. The goal of DR is that by reinforcing more functional behaviours, interfering behaviour will decrease. For example, if a student is using an interfering behaviour to get attention, a teacher could teach that student to instead use appropriate hand gestures. A teacher could then reinforce this desired behaviour by immediately replying to that student's attempt to get attention. Finally, let's look at peer-mediated instruction and intervention. This evidence-based practice is used to teach peers ways of interacting with and helping learners with ASD to acquire new social skills. PMII has been proven to have positive effects on academic, interpersonal and social development. It is seen to be the most empirically supported type of social intervention for learners with ASD. Initially, PMII activities should take place in a quiet area of the classroom. As learners become more comfortable interacting with one another, the activities can be implemented during most daily routines. In summary, there is evidence to show that antecedent-based strategies can help pupils with ASD to succeed in otherwise stressful environments. Positive reinforcement has also been found to be a key factor when teaching new skills and competencies. While there is a wealth of research to support these approaches, it is vital to be mindful that each pupil is unique. Therefore, there is no one-size-fits-all approach to teaching people with ASD. Get to know each individual, draw on each person's strengths, and prioritise their needs and understanding and what motivates each individual child.
Hi, Lisa. Hi, Super Nintendo Chalmers. Meow. I'm learning.
Way to go, Ralph.